So we have a bunch of recent releases. I saw some really cool tweets the last 2 days as well, that I want to talk about. Um, from like a clear representation of consumer versus creator and how we're kind of like lost and things that just back up that. And I just want to show you guys. It's really cool. So let's start here. We'll do our most recent launch. Actually, we just covered this game. We covered the demo. Very quick. Did we cover the demo? I don't even remember. And we just covered it last week, Asgard's Fall, that just came out. Over the weekend, it kept kissing mixed and then getting out of mixed. So right now it's mostly positive, which is not great. It's like right above mixed. Like any second now it can go mixed. Which again, this is normal. We can expect these things. So I want to talk about this stuff. It's really important to learn and just keep showing you how it's so common denominator. Why does it sound like we keep repeating ourselves? Oh, it's because we literally are. We have to want to go mixed. But once you see it, you will not be able to unsee it. And then I can't make this stuff up. So Asgard's Fall, as you guys know, we just covered it. And I had some things to say about it. It was very I think I gave it like a 4 point or a 3 point something out of 10. So below average. It didn't stick the landing. It had a lot of lack of almost everything across the board. It had very cool aesthetic though. Very cool aesthetic. I like the concept. I like the skeleton that they were trying to create. And you can see here, they're trying their best to stay out of mixed. And when they do that, you're going to see them start posting a lot, right? They're, oh my God, we're listening. Here's our first update, right? They have to band-aid. They have to stop the bleeding, right? They do not, it's not a good space. So I saw them release a couple little blog posts saying, we're listening, don't worry, please. And you don't want to be, this is not the position you want to be in, fighting for people to not be angry at you on release. But this is so common now. This is not new. And I saw some really cool posts. And one of the things that I always like to say is, if your consumers have to remove your blind spots, if your consumers have to educate you as the designer, you are so far behind. You are so far behind, because where you want to be is the person teaching the consumer what they're going to love next. As a creator, you want to be teaching the consumer what they're going to love next. And let that sink in, right? I promise you that all the games that you're aspiring to be like, all those games that probably created the idea that you're cooking in, right? For instance, they didn't come up with this. Guess where they got it from, right? Well, we don't have to talk about that. So all of those people, the games that you're trying to be like, they taught the consumers that they're going to love something. Think about it, right? What do we always try to mimic? We try to mimic the Vampire Survivors. We try to mimic the Slay the Spires or the Monster Trains, right? And guess what? Those games didn't necessarily have something to just copy, right? They created something and said, you're going to love this, right? And when you can learn how to do that, you're going to be in a whole new world of creativity, right? But to create, there is rules. There is what the market likes, and then you can do it better and teach them what they're going to like better. This is what you see in the movie industry so well, right? You don't see like, oh, we're making a Matrix-like, right? Whoa, we're just gonna, that Matrix is hot right now, we're gonna make a bunch of Matrix-like movies. No, they don't think like that necessarily, right? They do inspire each other, but they don't necessarily think like that. And we're blanketing a little bit. So I look at like Alex Garland, who's one of the goats of our time. This dude does not miss. He made Civil War. He made Warfare this week. He made a lot of wild things before that. And you can see that whatever he makes, it's not like the hot thing to make. He's gonna make something hot. Does that make sense? He's going to create something hot because he knows how to deliver. It doesn't matter. He doesn't give a crap what is hot or what you guys are making right now. He said, I know how to make something good. I know how to make something powerful. Imagine that world, right? Imagine how many times you can talk in creation and then you go, well, who did it first? Who did it? Can you show me who did it? Can you? It's one of my favorite things. I love when I hear that, or my clients say, oh, what game did that? What game did that? Right? We don't know how to dance in confidence yet. And knowing that we're going to deliver something powerful, we wait for somebody to tell us okay. Think about it. Think about how many times you've heard that maybe in your dev circles and they go, oh, okay, what game is doing that? Right? They want the okay. They want to make sure someone's done it first, right? They're the people that are following and waiting for a creator to create so that they can just create something off of them, right? And we dance a lot in this world. That's actually the 98%. We don't have a lot of the pioneers yet. We don't have the Quentin Tarantinos, right? We don't have the Alex Garlands, right, of the movie industry that they're going to make something great, right? We don't have that. We don't have a lot of subset games that are going to pioneer, right? And that's why you really want those guys creating, because they will pioneer, right? You want the Doom guys and the Doom Eternals, you want them cooking if you're an FPS guy, right? Like, you want them because they're the ones that are going to inspire all the people that are following, right? And so this is kind of what it looks like, right? If you don't dance in that conversation of how to create something powerfully and what that feels like, so you truly feel inside, oh my God, I know this is cooking. It's not, oh my God, I'm trying to do something people are going to like. I got to be like this game. Imagine knowing, God, this is going to kick ass, right? Imagine, just for a second, pretend, what would that be like for you, right? So we go in here and, again, we talked about this again before launch, before any reviews. We kind of talked about how it was going to go mixed and things like that and why. And when you have consumers talking about design decisions and stuff, you're cooked, right? You're cooked, because they don't know, right? They just kind of imply they have feelings, right? And they know when something is not working. They know the bar of the market very well because they're the consumers, right? Meta progression is soft. Do we have anything good here? There's a phenomenal one that I want to show you guys, but let's just go through some of the newer ones, see if there's anything good here. A lot of people talking about runes and stuff just feeling unbalanced or not feeling good. But there's a great one. Give me a sec. Let's see if we can find some. Wait before buying. Not worth it in its stay. Give the devs time to make smart decisions, hopefully. So here, this is very powerful. If your consumer is telling you this, you are cooked. Because you can see that they're getting smarter. Look at what this person's saying. Look at it. This is deep. This is very deep. I would never expect this out of just a consumer, somebody that doesn't study this stuff. This person knows that it's very common to just pump what I call sprinkles, the content on top. And this person, not even the designer of the game, this random buyer, is saying, dude, they need to make smart decisions on their fundamentals, their foundation. The sprinkles here are not going to cover it. This game has issues at the core, right? It's not buying it. They have to make smart decisions first and not just pump content. They're getting past our designers. That is so fascinating to me. Our designers don't understand this. I have to teach these things. Like, bro, early access, you guys are going to pump content. We know how this goes. Your fundamentals were created when you started the game, right? You built a core and then you put everything on top, and that becomes a lot harder and harder to change because all the systems would have to change, right? We all know this. The fact that the consumer is figuring this out first is a problem. This is a serious problem. Our designers are cooked. Now, I think part of this is because anybody can be a game designer now, right? Anyone can start a little passion project and create a game for fun. It's great. But what you don't realize is this is not just some whimsical industry anymore where it's like, I'm just going to make this little project. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. You're going to invest so much time into it, and then you're going to want to make it land, right? It's going to start as this fun little tinkering project, and it's going to turn into something bigger. It's going to turn into something that you're going to want to sell and do well. It's going to turn into you being very vulnerable because you don't want like a big red stain on your name, right? Who would want to feel that, right? So it is going to change, which means that you need to learn actual design. You can't wing it. You need to learn the pillars of what makes a good game. It's the same in music. It's the same in film, right? It's not different here. Now, if our consumers are getting ahead and saying, bruh, there's something wrong here. Like, and I know they're just going to pump content and stuff. We'll see if they make smart decisions. Oof. This is amazing. This is amazing. A very cool idea and concept. Again, not being salty. They are saying there is a good skeleton here. We actually talked about this before release. I said, hey, this landing is terrible, but to give it credit, I do kind of like the skeleton they have, right? And so for this consumer to vocalize this is so crazy. But boy, does it need work. Again, look into this line and see what it sounds like. We always talk about your ideas are the easy part. Let's repeat that. I sound like a broken record, right? I almost say this almost every other day, right? Your ideas as a creator, as a designer, your ideas, that's the easy part. You might, oh my God, how do I stand out in today's market? It's so saturated, right? There's so many great games out there. How do I stand out? Well, guess what? You got it. That part is easy. Everyone can do it. I don't know why, but that's the easy part. We will like your ideas. If you have cool ideas, we're gonna like it, right? Even if you have a mediocre idea, it's your idea and it's gonna be cool, and we're gonna want to download the demo. But you can't grab us when we give you that opportunity, because again, the idea is the easy part. You guys can't deliver on the idea. And I say you guys, and I'm blanketing because 95% of you cannot deliver on your idea. And I mean that. And everyone thinks they're the 5%, right? You all look at yourselves, I'm the 5%. I get it. I would never do that. And then you all land that way. And I mean that, right? Like literally 5%. We could play 20 games over the next 2 weeks, which we do all the time, and maybe one of them, maybe, will be like almost fundamentally sound. Maybe. But you are not him. You are all not the 1%, the 5%. You're not. That's the reality. We do not have the right training or conversations during development. We have a cool idea that we don't know how to make awesome for the market. And let that sink in. It is the most important thing that I would love if you guys got across, because you're going to see this constantly show up more and more because our consumers are getting it and we're not. As the designers, we are cooked. Every cool idea and concept, but it needs work. Experiencing awful Warpaint bugs, again, bugs, whatever. They just vanish. Unique ones are lost in the entire save. Awful control layout for controller, and not letting us change gearbinds is certainly a choice. And again, who knows, right? From the design perspective, and I'm cooking with the coach, and they might be like, oh, we'll get to it eventually. Your consumer doesn't give a crap. They're not going to be like, oh, let me imagine how the board meetings went. I imagine that eventually they're going to give us the thing. We came to the restaurant, and eventually I'm sure they're going to give us a fork and knife, right? Eventually. But that's how these designers are. I'm going to release my product that I worked years on, but I'm going to eventually give you the things you need. Now, when I say that, it probably sounds chaotic, but that's normal today. Pretend with me, even just pretend and apply this concept. Just pretend that we're true. That we deliver something we work years on and we want it to do well, but we eventually give you, the consumer, the thing they need to enjoy it. Oh, welcome to our beautiful restaurant. I'll get you your fork and here's your food. I'll get you your fork and knife. Just give me a couple minutes. Imagine you'd be like, what? It's the same thing here, right? They can't even enjoy the product yet. Think about that. It's not eventually. If you want eventually, then go mixed and then eventually figure it out, right? But that's your momentum. That's your release. That's starting the race, and you're shooting holes in your sails, and you're like, all right, we're off to the races. Your launch is everything. Everything. Why do I have to plead for you to not launch at mixed? Let's let that sink in for a second. Why does this guy who studies this design and wants to fight for you, why am I pleading that you take your own work seriously? I mean, let's just unplug for a second. Let's just take a step back. Even that concept is chaotic to me. Why do I want you to fight harder for your project? Why do do you see something wrong? Like, you guys don't even take yourselves seriously and don't realize that you need to have these conversations because you're spending years of your life on this. And I'm begging you to take your own work seriously and just have a conversation. I'm begging you. This is heartbreak. I get it. You want your ideas to flourish and you think it's unpredictable and all these people just talking venom and things that aren't powerful, right? Unpredictability, and you can't predict the market and blah, 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 blah. We can predict it, and I prove that they're wrong every day of the week here. I prove that that's not right and that there is a methodology. And we've been doing this for years. It's like they don't want you to know, right? It's like, oh, we're all together. Yeah. We all just don't know, right? Let's just wait for another goat to come along and we'll just copy them, right? They don't want you to. It's the same when I started the Game Doctor work and everyone's like, no, you can't know. You can't do those things. No. Who are you? You're just a streamer. That was my favorite. You're just a streamer. Do you guys realize the chaoticness of that when people try to pull you down? That's like me saying I can't buy your game. You're a father. You're a father. You can't make a good game. Like, what? It has nothing to do with anything. right? They just want you to have small conversation, right? And wrap you in that box, right? I need you guys to take your own work seriously and have equal powerful conversation. If your consumers are trying to do it for you, you're already lost. You're already lost. This is so cool if you read between the lines here. This is amazing. We talk about this stuff every day. To see it voiced back like this, but through their emotions, is so powerful because there's actually pillars that these devs are breaking, and you can see the aftermath of these people having to go through it. I can't even enjoy your goddamn product, bro. You know? Certainly, enemy types feel unrewarding and downright impossible to fight. That goes a lot deeper. They don't even know. The game just fundamentally breaks itself in its combat, right? And we talked about that again before all of this, right? Certain enemy types feel unrewarding and downright impossible. Again, them saying, what are they actually saying here? It's not fun, right? Fighting people is not fun. We want fun difficulty, right? All in all, it's a very interesting game that has the potential to move up the ranks in survival likes and reach the top if the devs keep putting in work and obviously start by murking out the safe something out the safe breaking bugs so you can at least grind it out. Okay, so again, they're not a group, they're not trained in this stuff, so to even have a source of truth and importance here and in between the lines of what they're trying to say is very powerful, right? We are cooked. These guys seem really smart, and there's that disconnect, right? Hey, this is one of my old clients. Some balancing and tweaks are needed. One of my other new favorite things is when you see people complaining in the positives too, because remember that every one of those positives was a gamble. If they're complaining in a positive, you're lucky they didn't just lean the other way, or if they were having a bad day. Right? That's the mixed. Even your goods are negative, right? Even your goods. I see this a lot. Oh my God, I guess it's great, but man, it needs work, right? That's the gamble you're taking. That is it right there. That's what it looks like. So you're kind of hoping when games are in the 70 or maybe 80%, you're hoping that they just give you allowance and that they're like, you're gambling, right? Please, yeah, it needs a lot of work. I'm hoping they're on a good day and they'll just give us a thumbs up anyway, right? Like, so that's why those are not even good, right? And there was a couple like that in here, right? Like, just it needs help, right? It needs help. But there is a very, very cool one. I believe it's on this game, and I want to show you guys. I think it's this one. This one was really interesting. Again, from a consumer. I got to show you guys how we are choosing to lose on release. Now, I want to go further and show that these devs are like, God, we want to do things right. And we're going to talk all about that, right? This is great. I don't recommend the game for now. And again, for them to even think this way, like that intelligently, like I just can't recommend this, like ever. No, I can't recommend it for now, right? Like, wow, that's really cool. It might get really good with updates and fix the issues. Again, them just fantasizing, right? We hope in early access, all of our problems are going to go away, right? Like they don't even know the reality of it, unfortunately. And thank God for the devs, right? You might really get an update to fix some issues, but the heavily relies on the dev taking the right decisions. Notice this is the second review here where they said the devs have to make smart decisions. Our consumers, they don't study design. They don't know anything about how the cake is made. And they're like, bro, why does it feel like the devs are not making smart decisions? What is wrong? Can you imagine for a second somebody telling LeBron James, bro, it looks like you have potential, bro, but like you need to fix this, bro. Yeah, what is going on? What? That sounds insane, like insanity, right? But that's our industry, is that our consumers, these guys that don't know, and you're supposed to be showing them what they want next, are like, bro, like, I hope you could just get smart decisions out. Like, I need you guys to unplug and just look at the ludicrousness of that. That concept itself is ludicrous. Am I the only one like looking at what it is for what it is? This is ludicrous, right? I hope they make smart decisions. They're begging you just to do things smart. Hey, I like your idea here, but what happened? That sounds like me with 95% of our showcases is what is happening here? You are not ready for release. We love your idea, and it's like you're doing it on purpose. It's like you purposely don't want to succeed. Why is that? Well, in your creation, you think you're doing the right thing, but you are not having the right conversations for reality. You're in your bubble, right? In your dev circles, all these people that are not trained are not going to be the ones to help you, right? You need to understand the pillars of a good game first before you break these things. Good. Decisions for now, and it's not guaranteed. This guy is so right. It's not guaranteed. They said, hey, you didn't show me that you can make smart decisions now. So it's not guaranteed throughout early access. This is interesting because the consumer in today's market is usually the opposite. They yell at each other and they defend the game, right? Guys, it's early access. Get over it. It'll be fine, right? Is this even early access? I don't know. Guys, it's an early access. They're going to fix everything. They're going to realize everything. Even though they showed us already, getting to this point that they cannot make right decisions, it's early access. They're going to show us. They're going to show us, right? So for them to get to this point where the market is saying, bro, no, it's if they got to this point and did this and made those decisions, there's not a guarantee here. Even if it's early access, I don't care what you call it. That is, wow. This is eye-opening for me because I'm trying to catch devs up or get them ahead if they want to have that conversation. And I'm realizing they're further behind than I think. And that the consumers are passing them. As far as like, wow, we feel all of these games. We feel good design. And there's these games that are not even meeting what we usually eat yet. Let's keep going. I cannot recommend this game for now. I will shortly list the game good before addressing the bad. Everything in the surface level is great. The design, animations, colors, sound effects. Now, this person's not even correct here, right? There's a lack of sound effects. There's a lot of not great stuff. Yes, the animations are very beautiful. The design is beautiful. Their color is beautiful. Everything else was really, really poor. But again, they're not trained for this stuff. That's okay, right? But cool, right? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Bad. Quality of life features and user friendliness. Here are some examples. They're absolutely right. This game is horrible, fundamentally horrible, right? You can't even interact with the things that they want you to interact with because you don't have those menus. So like to interact with like the meta, you have to leave that menu, go to your inventory, grab like the thing to interact with where you're supposed like it was horrible. Like it was so funny. It was like, wait, how did this get here, right? Can't rebind keys, of course, right? You're not giving me the fork and spoon to enjoy this meal, right? You're not giving it to me. Wow, that sounds like a common blind spot, right? It's like, oh, we'll add it eventually. You're going to bring me my fork and knife eventually. Think about it. Who allowed you to do that? And why did nobody have your back to say you cannot do that? Why did no one tell you? Level up your circles. I'm going to say this again. Level up your circles. Because if nobody told you that this was unacceptable, that is a fail by itself, and that's your fault for not leveling up your conversations. Do not blame it on them for not telling you. Do not blame it on the consumers because you had a beta. That is your fault for not leveling up your conversations around you. You have to take responsibility first before we get the results, right? Making the stats list appear is not intuitive. Absolutely. I remember we figured it out because I had gamer brain and I was like, oh, let me try these buttons. I had to hit tab, I believe, to pull up the settings, and they did not tell you that. They did not tell you once. You would have never known about it. When you press pause, escape, or keyboard, start on controller, the pause menu does not show the list and what they do. It does not tell them, right? This is done by a separate key, tab, but the game never gives you that information. Again, very common. Devs too close to their own work and not having the right conversations, right? They're creating language, they're creating up words, and then we're forgetting that the other people in the outside world, they're not connected to reality. Here's the real picture is you've been in this work here in your own ecosystem coming up with your own words, and then you forgot that you're making it for other people and don't have the correct foundation to have someone there to make sure that this is ready for them, who you're making it for. Right? Oh, damn. We just came up with our own language over the last year and a half, and we forgot to tell people what our language is. We forgot to say that vulnerability means this, or this random word we made up means that, or we forgot to show the buttons to how this works, right? What buttons you need to hit. We didn't give them the tools for that. Wow, right? Obvious blind spot, but everyone does this. This is very common, right? Leading some new players to just completely ignore the existence of stat lists until they research on the Steam forum how to make it appear. This guy is cooking here. I would never even take the time to do this here on this. Right? Like, this guy is taking a lot of energy and effort here. This is crazy. This is the best. This is the best consumer, unfortunately, in a negative experience to have to like slap them. Now, the problem here is, what are devs going to read? They're going to read, oh, okay, cool. We need to add key bindings. Okay, cool. Oh, that makes sense. We need to add that, right? But they're not learning the process, that why they didn't have it to begin with, and what they're missing to get to this point, and the fact that it's not there. We don't think about that, right? We're band-aiding. We're not leveling up. We're not having that conversation to see this for our own self. Because my clients will tell you, bro, what is going on here, right? This is a no-no. This is unacceptable, because they're breaking pillars in design. They're breaking pillars, right? Not for good. They're breaking them, and they're like, oh my God, this is 101. Right? Information, like, what? This is 101, right? 101. There is no reason for the stat list to not be on the pause menu. And there's two huge, and they're calling out the negative space, right? We do that all the time. Like, wait, you have so much negative space here. How did you not put the information we need, right? I say that all the time. There's two huge empty spaces on each side of the screen. And that's the most intuitive place to put it. So I'm glad that they're confused as well, right? Some stats are just impossible to understand. Take Ignite, for example. This sounds like a lack of information, and probably another pillar that they're breaking. Take Ignite, for example. It deals fire damage over time. Okay, but then what? Does it scale with the stat damage? Does it stack? If it yes, what's the limit? What's the base damage number for it? And it's the same. Is it the same for bleed? What's gauging the efficiency of these is needlessly annoying. Man, this is good. Guys, this guy is cooking. If you guys are not in your circles digesting this feedback, this is all of your games. All of them. All of them. They're talking, this guy's cooking. Now you have to look between the lines here. But there's something here that we always talk about. A lot of you guys get to a positive doorway, but there's negativity behind it. So the positive version of this is you go discovery. Discovery, right? Oh, they're going to figure it out. No, we want them to figure things out. We don't want to give the answers, right? Do you guys hear that a lot, right? Oh, discovery, they blanket it. They blanket with a positive, but they don't go past that door. It is not a positive. It is a negative. Because at best, and this guy figures this thing out, that's it. They go, oh, okay, I guess I finally figured it out. Damn, why was that so annoying to figure out? They're not like, oh my God, this game is the best. Hey guys, you got to check out Asgard's Fall, dude. Man, it's like a puzzle game. There was a fire stat, and I had to like figure out what it does. You should have seen me. I had my like little notepad and my calculator out, and I was trying to figure out how much damage it does. Just so you know, for when you're playing, I'm gonna make a guide of the fire damage. It does 10% for 3 seconds, and then it fades out. Just so you know, I made that easier for you. Is that what you think when you guys say discovery? Do you think that process happens and that we love it? What do you think? Like, I need to know your mindset. And again, this is why my work happens in conversation. I need you to talk about your idea and how you think that would be powerful. Right? And now I'm going to assume that that wasn't the thought process, and then there was just infinite blind spots, and they were blind to information and giving information, which is a key pillar in the game doctor work, right? Gauging the efficiency of this is needlessly annoying. This is base. Now imagine you're the consumer, right? And you've played the bar of the market. When I mean bar of the market, I mean the standard. So they play Brotato, they play this other stuff, and they what they expect is they take their mouse and they mouse over a tooltip or something. They mouse over a stat, right? Health, and this is how it works. Luck, this is how it works. That's what they're used to. So they get here and they don't get that. But it's not for a good thing, right? It's not like, oh my God, that's exciting. This is a good part of the game. No, they get there and they go, huh? What? How do they not have this? That's being below the market. That's not meeting their expectations or higher. And if you break it, not for good reason. This is why when you learn about film or you learn about music, there's actually rules first. We just wing it in this industry. We just try to make a good game, but we don't know how. again, and I'm pleading, and I hope that you give me an ear here if you're watching this or watching this in the future to understand that I'm not here to beat you up. I'm here to really make it clear to accept the fact there might be things that you don't know yet. And that no one's trying to tell you what to do, but they're trying to show you the pillars that the game doctor, they're trying to show you the pillars so you can understand what makes a good game and see that, so that if you're breaking, you're doing it methodically. Otherwise, your consumers are going to notice, and that's a problem. Just because the game doesn't give us that oh my god, they follow it up! The game does not give us the information to work with! Does this guy hang out in the game doctor? Does this person hang out here? I feel like I'm a broken record. For years, I'm trying to save you guys releases like this because you guys can win and your ideas are good, but you do not know how to capitalize on those ideas until you learn the pillars of making a good game. Not because somebody wants to tell you what to do, but because there is literally pillars. There is literally ways that movies are shot. And if we break that, we're doing it methodically, maybe to drive confusion or weird. They do it methodically. So you need to broaden your tool set. It's not something you wing, all right? Level up your circles if nobody called you out on this either. That means you do not have the right people in your camp to make a good game. You can keep winging it. Eventually, you might get there, but you do not have the right people in your camp to make a good game. And you have to take responsibility first. You as the creator, right? The inventory is a joke. They're right. You can't move items in it or organize it. So you can't interact with it. It just feels bad. And we looked at it a couple times. We're like, what the hell is this even for? You can't filter it using filter types such as rarities, affixes, tiers. If you want to put a rune in your puzzle, oh my god, don't get me started on this. If you want to put a rune in the puzzle, that is the way to get more passive stats. The inventory is not visible anywhere. I went in. If you guys want to watch our review or whatever, when we went over it a week ago before any of this was out, we're like, bro, what happened here? You can't even interact with the screen yet properly, right? Your inventory is not anywhere. You actually have to leave first. Look, it could be one of those side menus. Again, talking about the empty space, this person says, right? Allowing easy drag and drop. That would be way too intuitive, saying, hey, you need to put pieces here. Here are your bag of pieces. Nope, no, that's way too intuitive. Way too normal, right? But no, you have to open the inventory separately. Again, you have to leave what you're trying to interact with and open the menu somewhere else. Open the inventory separately, and the button for that is not visible at that point. Click on the rune and then place it, meaning you can never see both the puzzle where you're trying to put the things and the inventory at the same time. Why is the consumer complaining about that, and why did the developers never ever see that themselves? Now, you guys, this might be a little bit complicated. Let me give you the same situation in another game that you might be familiar with, just to show you how we have our own blind spots, and we all have them if we don't have the right structure. I'm going to show you exactly this same situation in a different game just so you can understand it better. Imagine you're playing Tarkov or any inventory game where you have a chest. Any survival game, Valheim, anything. Same situation, ready? Imagine for a second that you go to the chest to put your loot there, and you open the chest, and there is nothing else. So you just open the chest. And then you go, wait, how do I get my stuff in here? So then you're like, what the hell? And there's no way to do it. So you close the chest, you have to open your menu, open your inventory, click on an item, and then open and interact with the chest to put it in there, and repeat that process. That's crazy, right? You're like, wait, what? Like, we solved this like years ago. That is the bar of the market. It's not somebody telling you what to do. It's saying, bro, you don't even have the bare minimum yet, let alone cook, let alone deliver something powerful. You didn't even hit the minimum yet. There's no way you thought this was a good idea. There's no way you went through this. So now you have all these people saying, bro, maybe this will get good eventually, but it's going to require the devs to make good decisions. They can't even trust. Because if you were a creator and launched your product with this much of a blind spot to say it's not even like any other game with an inventory. It's not even there yet. It's just infinitely worse. You don't even have the basics yet. And it might hurt to hear that, but that is a beautiful starting point to say, I'm ready to level up. I'm ready. How did I miss this? How do I get in that conversation so this never happens again? How do I see this stuff for myself? What would that be like for you? So what if this game was at 95% positive right now, and that you didn't need to worry about all this and beg and get these guys to change their review, hopefully, which they probably won't do? What would that space be like for you? And what if this could have all been avoided with a couple-hour conversation? What would that be like? What would that be like? This stuff is easily avoided. Meaning you can never see both the puzzle and inventory at the same time. Like, come on. Just have the inventory on the side menu with the unlockable at the right as one of those windows. There's no reason to overcomplicate players' life like that. Here's this person losing it, saying, bro, what? We had inventory systems for years now, literally decades. And you got to this point where I can't even simply put something in this menu. Like every other game for decades. We're not even there yet. And this dude's like sitting here like explaining how to do it. This person is sitting here explaining, guys, you just, because they're the consumer, right? They played other games like it, so they solved this problem. And they said, hey, you just put the thing here in this dead space so I can just drag it over. He's like, what? It doesn't, he's just so confused. Wait, where is it? Where is it? I lost it. You have an inventory on the side menu with unlockables on the right. There's no reason to overcomplicate a player's life like this. This is so funny because this is what it feels like. I've felt this for decades, and this is why I actually started the Game Doctor work, right? Is that I could see these things and then I would see it launch and go, how come the devs didn't see it? What happened here? There's no way they would choose to make it this bad on purpose. Turns out you guys just don't see it. You're too close to your work and your circles are not going to see it. And these people, no one's doing it. And that's why I decided to do it, right? My life is literally studying this stuff because I love it. I'm a weird freak that loves studying other people's designs and being their cheerleader, right? That's what I do. That's what I do. And if you had this couple-hour conversation, you would have never launched it like this. Ever. Ever. And this is not to flaunt my work, but this is to say, I'm teaching you guys how to see this stuff too, because this is going to happen every day. And that might sound like I'm being dramatic, right? No, this is going to happen every day. Why? I play, think about it, if I cover around 400, 450 games a year, that's more than a game a day, right? So I'm telling you, every day this happens. Every day. Every day. Every day this happens. You are not him. We all have our own blind spots. We're human. We are all not him. Right? You need it too. You that thinks you're too good, I would never do that. I wouldn't do something that dumb. You're gonna do something that dumb. So am I. But you have to admit that first. So am I. I got to coach people that have been doing this for 2 decades, 3 decades, way longer than I've been doing what I do. And I got to coach them and say, hey, that was what gave me the clarity to say, oh my God, I was so nervous. But in the end, I learned that they're human too. And that it didn't matter about their dev years. When I started, that was my blind spot. I thought it happened to do with they haven't been doing it long enough. Oh, once they're a better designer, once they've been doing it for decades, they wouldn't do this stuff anymore. Turns out that's not true. Turns out that they're still human and they still have their own blind spots, right? It was the ultimate confidence boost, but I didn't know that at the time. I was scared out of my pants. Pause usually allows you to see what spells you pick so far. Oh my God, wait, which one is this? Which one is this, chat? Here it comes! This is every deck builder. Here it comes. This is, oh, it's like another, here we go again. Here we go. I can't look in my deck. I can't, you're telling me to draft. Draft into what? Usually pausing allows you to see the spells you've picked so far, except when picking a new one during level up. Like, why? There's literally, that's literally the moment we would like to check what we have and to compare and to actually build, because you're asking me to draft and build, right? And that is, he says, this is literally why you have drafting, is for me to build, and you're not giving me that information. Guys, I sound like a broken record here, and you think maybe I'm just trying to be aggressive or like a... No, I'm trying to show you that if I sound that broken record, if I have to keep saying the same thing, why do I keep getting to say the same thing? Why does this keep happening to make me sound like a broken record? Why do I have to call this out on every release? Every release. Haste just came out and it's doing wonderful. Haste! Right? The speedrunning game, they do the same thing. They all do. You all do it. You all have the same blind spots, and nobody is there in your camp to catch these things because you don't have a coach. And you can keep winging it. And sometimes you might be okay. Or you can level up and not have to take this gamble. And not have to say, oh my God, I hope that even if they see negative things, they vote me positive. Because then you have all these positive reviews with still negative stuff in it. And you're just 50-50ing on that person's personality type. Think about it. Think about it. We talk about these things for like years and years of the same issues, and we don't stop. We keep doing it, and everyone thinks they're him. As far as I can tell, you can't have several build pages, meaning if you want to have one rune page for a physical build, one for a trap build, etc., or is the feature that exists but is weirdly hidden. That sounds like meta nowadays too, right? Does it mean I have to reassemble my rune puzzle every time I want to go for another build? Not giving the player what they're going to need, right? The fork and spoon. Stats. The stats themselves are just badly designed. As someone else said in the reviews, the only defensive stat that matters is movement speed. You know, this is really interesting because on our first run, I said out loud the same feeling. I said, wait, does nothing matter in this game but moving fast, right? Because the game starts to collapse upon itself. But again, that's a deeper conversation. If they saw that, they would never even have hopes for this game and wouldn't care about the genre as a whole. But that's a whole nother, right? The only speed matters. The early game, like the first couple of hours, maybe you can fiddle with health regen and HP. They're saying when you don't understand the game, it seems like there's a lot of parts. This is most of your roguelikes nowadays, right? You guys are trying to make an interesting game, but really there's not infinite choices. There's like 3 right choices, right? An early game, like the first couple of hours, maybe you could fiddle with health regen and HP, but it quickly becomes irrelevant. So they're saying once you understand this game and you're not a beginner, you're going to realize that there's not actually a bunch here. There's one thing here. The stats are not balanced. The rarity sometimes doesn't matter. I've already dropped an epic knot of attack speed and a legendary knot of attack speed with the exact same values. Like, huh? Notice that this guy is confused in a lot of this feedback. He's just confused. Like, how did it get here? Right? And notice that a couple of reviews already said the devs have to make smart decisions because they're left with, huh? Huh? What? Why would you do that? Right? We already had better. You didn't have to come up with something clever. But there's, right? Like, what happened? Why would you ever do that? Guys, I'm not saying this. I'm digesting it for you to show you what's actually going on. I'm not saying this stuff, right? But we do talk about this stuff daily, and I try to be as kind as possible. But here, this is amazing because the consumer can be as vocal as they want here, right? If I do that, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's a dick, right? But this is reality. It's like, what did you guys do? What happened, right? What happened here? And this is not this game. What I'm trying to show you is this is the market. This is every day. Every day. The stats are not balanced. I believe this is the math issues here. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's not math issues. It's a lot deeper. I'll save you the time. The runes. Oh my God, the runes. I've dropped like a dozen of legendary runes yellow, which are supposed to be super rare and super good, only to throw them away. They're all filled with useless tier 1 affixes. None of them were usable. I played 20 to 30 difficulty level sacrifice, I guess, and I haven't felt the difference in loot. Sure, there might be slightly more legendary runes dropping, but what's the point if they're all useless? Imagine how that makes the systems feel, huh? Conclusion. Those were the main issues I have with the game. They go a lot deeper than that. There's other minor ones, but these are the most urgent to address in my opinion. I think there's potential for a really great game here. Once again, it would take fundamental reworks, and I don't know if it would be worth it. Depends how they value the launch here and how much money it made so far. Everything on the surface looks good because they also wasted a lot of development time. But we really need tighter systems, more quality of life, user friendliness. We really need more content. When you have a second consumer saying, bro, I can't even ask for more content yet. I would love to. I had a client earlier today, and something hit me, and I want to say it right now. Something hit me. Check this out. You guys ready? I'm gonna cook here, and it's in one line. There is a very common saying in the dev circles. Devs, I need you to back me up here, and I'm gonna try to paraphrase. A game is never finished as a developer, right? You always have something to do. It's never finished. You just kind of release it at some point, right? You gotta stop the scope creep. It's never done. Have you guys heard this? Can I get a 1 in chat? Some version of this. Can I get a 1 in chat? Some version of that, right? It's never done. The work is never done. We've all heard it. This is a very common thing that they tell you. We adopt that. We adopt this principle, right? And there's a lot of truth to it. There's a reason it's there. It's a lot of truth. This morning, I had somebody make that comment, and something hit me, right? And I said, you know, I don't fully believe that, but it has a lot of truth. I believe that a game is done when you can release it and your consumers are just asking for more. That's when it's done. Let that sink in for a second. We're nowhere near that. Your game is done when you can release it and all they have to do is ask for more. Can I have some more of that? That's when you're done. We like to blanket it. Like, oh no, it's okay. It's okay that they're complaining. It's never done. We can't. No, your game can be done when they just want more and they don't have to do this nasty work and they don't have to complain. Your game is done and they just want more. And then you could figure out if you want to keep cooking or deliver more content. That's when it's done. That's what you're striving for. They're always going to be consumers. They're always going to want more. Me too. And I work in this industry. Me too. I'm the gamer that's going to want more if I love your product. That's when you're done. That's when you win. Wow, this game is amazing. I just want more. But we are so far from it. We are so far from that. Today it's, God damn, I can't even enjoy what's here yet, let alone ask for more. That's when you know you're done. That's when you know you can be done. That is not true. I've learned that today. That is not true. That is a guideline. There is principles there, but that is not true. You're done when we can enjoy your product and you have fundamentally sound product where we don't need to ask for anything else except more. Then you're done. And they're lying to you, right? They're convinced. They're all convinced, oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's like a coping mechanism. No, you can be done. If you drop it and they're just saying, give us more, give us DLCs, you won. You did it. Your game was done. Your game was done. Congratulations. Be proud of yourself. If you launch the game and they're just blanketing 90% of them, 95% of them, it's just saying, hey, dude, I can't wait for more. I just want more of this. You won. You finished the game. Otherwise, you are lacking fundamentals. That is the goal. Your game can be done. Your game can be done. I want to go eat a dish and not have to say, God damn, this took forever. God damn, the fork and knife were dirty. God damn, what happened? Why is the dressing splitting? Why did it come out this way? Why is it overcooked? But if I could just enjoy the meal and say, God damn, I can't wait to have that again, you're done. You made it. You made it. I just want more. So I came to that conclusion today. That's the reality. Hate me if you want. I don't care. Your game is done when they just ask for more. Clip it and ship it. I want somebody to clip that for me. Clip it. Clip it. I'm calling them out. Our dev circles have no idea. They're just waiting to understand. They also don't know. We're shooting for them asking for more. We won. We won as designers. If this game came out and every single person in the review said, yo, dope, but we want more, you won. You completed your game. It is done. It is done. And now you choose what to do. But until then, the ball's in their court because they can't even enjoy what you have here. There's no such thing as a done game. No, that's not true. They just are begging you to even do the work to enjoy your product. They don't have a fork and spoon to enjoy it. That was my biggest revelation. I couldn't wait to share that. That breakthrough happened this morning. And they said, oh my God, I cannot wait to hear more of that. That's what the client said. I cannot wait to hear more of that. They never heard something like that before in their life. Because it's contrary to what everybody else tells them. It's contrary to the sheep and shepherd syndrome, right? Like oh my God, this, oh my God, that. Remember, your circles are always trying to keep you guessing. Oh, it's unpredictable. Oh, it's a coping mechanism, right? It's coping. No, there is predictability. There is a way to make a good game. It's not unpredictable. That is a lie. Deep. We need more than just content. So this is saying you did not win. You did not win. I can't even ask for more content. I still need you to fix your product. I can't even get the car off the lot that I just bought. More things to do. We need the things to be more balanced. God damn. They're like, don't even give me more things. Your things are not even right yet. God damn. Who is this person? They want to follow our channel for sure. Somebody reach out to this guy. For the stats to matter more and for the loot to feel more rewarding. Good job, Dev, for the things you've done so far. Very kind. I'm sure this game can be a banger, but for now, dude, this guy, I don't know who this person is, but this is the kindest soul ever. Z, have an awesome one. This is the kindest soul ever. He like almost feels bad. This is better than me, dude. I could be very like a matter of factly. Again, it's cool to just put yourself out there and do something, right? I always say I would never be able to do what a dev does. We are listening. Reviews like this help us move towards the right direction. Dude, you guys are cooked for getting to this point because you're not having the right conversations. We even have other people like, yo, listen to this guy. Listen to this guy. Imagine the world where they do not have to sacrifice and go to mixed to impact their game and make it better. Imagine just knowing. None of this stuff should have been here. None of it. Great dev response? No. I mean, you got to put something here, right? But no. This is showing blind spots, right? What it actually should say is, damn, we should have never gotten to this point. That we didn't even meet the bar of the market, what games have been doing for decades. That's what it should say, right? That, damn, it's unacceptable. We shouldn't have got it to this point, and we're going to do something about it. We hear you. That's the reality. But we are cooked. We're in an industry, we're in a market of, we're listening consumers, don't worry, patronizing, right? Don't worry, we're going to add settings. We're going to add the settings menu. Right now that our butt is on fire, now we're going to try to make our product. You guys don't realize it, and I'm not going to get into it. This is not learning. This is not learning. This is like barely bare minimum. They're listening, but too late. You guys are real. There's a bigger problem here that you guys don't even see. And if you're a consumer, that makes sense, right? That you're not supposed to understand, but I'm telling you that this is not good. This is not good. I get the intentions here. I'm not saying they're being mean or anything. Sure, this is the bare minimum. At least say you're listening and not like, screw you. Sure, bare minimum, right? This is not it. Not it. Guys, these consumers are trying to educate the designers. This is a problem. Did we read this one? So anyway, why are we going to the verge of mixed and dipping to mixed and hurting our release and now have to double back to fix things instead of just doing it right? Misfits, give it up! Give it up! Power Wriggle 55! I love y'all. So guys, I just really wanted to go over this to show you guys how this works and how to get ahead. But we need to realize that the problem, as we create and release, the problem should not be here. You should have the conversations here, and this should be not, oh God, let's fix it. It's down here. Oh my God, don't worry, we're trying. Your consumers can't even ask for more yet because it's not fundamentally there. You made a car that can't get off the lot. No, that's not good that you're listening. You should have done that already. Let me try this again. There's a comment saying, like, at least they're listening. So I go to Toyota and I sit through all the paperwork and I buy a new car. I buy a new car. And anybody knows that's went through this process, it sucks, right? It is so draining to deal with these guys, right? And it hurts. You're going to get robbed, right? And I go to take it off the lot, my brand new car, after a day of being at the dealership, and I can't get it off the lot, right? And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I can't even get it off the lot. And they say, don't worry, community. Don't worry. We value you and we're listening. We're gonna fix this right up for you. Is that okay? Is that okay? I'm asking sincerely, guys. Is that okay to you? That is a problem. We're cooked as consumers if we think that's okay. That's patronizing. That's a business technique. Oh my God, take them to the waiting room. Get them coffee. Yeah, just get them whatever they want. No, that means we f***ed up. That means we f***ed up. And they're not taking accountability for it. That's even worse. Look at Hyper Lightbreaker. They released a $30 game that didn't have bare minimum. And they said, we're going to cover it up. Don't tell you. Write something up. Oh, don't worry, community. We're listening to you. We would not be here without you guys. They did not say, hey, we f***ed up. And we get cooked. And we go, oh my God, look, the devs are being nice. Guys, level up because they won't level up if we don't. It is both of us. They're not doing their job and learning because they don't know. They don't know. They're not doing it on purpose. But we need to level up and stop eating slop. That is not okay. If your brand new car doesn't make it off the lot, they f***ed up. I don't know why I have to be this guy to get us plugged back into reality. They f***ed up. If my new car doesn't make it off the lot, they're not going to patronize me with coffee and say we're listening. They f***ed up. Let that sink in. We're the only industry that will allow people to get away with this. The bare minimum, getting my car off the lot. Bare minimum. And then we could go, well, over at, listen, Toyota, over at Nissan, my car always makes it off the lot. And they're like, no. Dude, we value you. We're going to get you coffee. We're going to get you all of this stuff. We hear you. We love you. And we're going to fix this right up. Right? And we're like, oh, okay, cool. They're listening. If they cared, my car would have made it off the lot because that's the bare minimum. Why do I have to be this bad guy for this reality check? If they cared, it would have made it off the lot. If they took pride in their product, it wouldn't have launched that way. If they took the right steps, they wouldn't need that feedback from the buyer. It's patronizing. And it's getting worse. It's getting worse. Why do you know it's getting worse? Because we have these big news articles allowing it and feeding it and saying that's a good thing. They don't say, oh my God, over at Toyota, the cars are not even making it off the lot. What do? What do our PC gamers do? Yo, check out Toyota. They're listening to the community, bro. PC gamer, I'm talking to you, so lock in. I'm talking to you, and I'm aggressive today. I don't give a shit. I'm feeling myself today, and you're gonna get authentic me. I'm talking to you, PC gamers. I'm talking to you, everybody with a podium. I'm coming at you. I'm coming at you right now. You have no idea what you're talking about. You are cooked. And I'm gonna try to help you out here. Stop praising this nasty, nasty consumerism. Oh, the devs are listening? Oh, Toyota's cars are not getting off the lot, but they're listening to you. Don't worry. You sound crazy. You sound insane. You're giving green flags to this that are not even bare minimum. They should have never gotten to the point where they need that. They should have never gotten to the point where they need to listen to the consumer that the cars didn't make it off the lot. Oh, they're caring. They care. They should have never been there. My car should have made it off the lot. That's not something to praise. You don't give them flowers for that. You're cooked. And then other consumers eat this shit. So then we get things like, oh, at least they're listening. That's what they want you to do. They want you to do that. They want you to eat shit and be okay with it because then they can keep giving shit. Am I crazy? Do you guys not see that? Do you guys really not see that? I have to be the bad guy. Am I cooked? Guys, I'm really just trying to show you, and I'm so fired up and passionate, but we are so cooked, and it's not your fault. You're consuming that shit. You're consuming it from the people with podiums. You're consuming it from PC Gamer and shit, so it's not your fault. I get it. I get it. I know it's not the devs' fault. They're just cooked from everyone around them. And I know it's not the consumer's fault because they're just putting that weight on you, making you think it's your problem that their game is bad and you're supposed to fix it, right? It's all patronizing, and we're pushing the buck. It's not devs' fault. It's not the consumer's fault. PC Gamer is rewarding negative, like this negative, vile circle of like, it's terrible, but look, they're listening and they're giving green flags. We're so cooked. Bro, I get fired up with like a furious anger because it's so stupid. It's so stupid. So if they don't have the game doctor work and they're not studying the market, I assume they have no idea what they're talking about because most of the time we don't. We're lost. We're lost. I don't care that you had an open beta, right? Because your consumers don't know better. So I know that that tells me you have no idea what you're doing. Because you're asking the consumer, who also is not their job. They have no idea. And then we go, oh my God, the devs are listening. Who gives a shit? I am calling you guys out, bro. This is gonna be aggressive, but you need to reality check yourself. Your design sucks. You have good ideas, you have good intentions, and you want to learn, but the conversations you're in need to level up because they're not telling you the things. Otherwise, you wouldn't launch this way. You would see it for yourself. Oh my God, this is not good. I see what I'm going for here. Wait, why did I do that? You would literally look at your own work and be like, yo, this is shit. Okay, wait, hold on. I'm better than this. Because you are! But you just need the right conversations to see it. You are better than this. Tough love, baby. You guys need the tough love. I would want somebody to fight for me like that. I'm trying to fight for you guys. Get out of this circle. I don't care if everyone's doing it. I don't care what people are saying. I don't care that PC Gamer is giving the green flag. It's all cooked. It's all cooked. It's not right. That's just one game. Should we keep going? Should I keep showing you guys how this is going to be familiar? And the common denominator is always the same? You guys are talking about Commander Quest? You guys are talking about Commander Quest? Or whatever? The game I was also excited for, and we don't know fundamentals, so we launched the same way, and we're trying to fight to stay out of mixed? We're like 3% from mixed? The same shit? Do you guys see? It's the same shit. It's not, we're not learning. We're not learning. Unfortunate. Released too early. Sounds like the other game, right? Seems like a very small card pool and relics, which makes me angry and repetitive. It's repetitive. Wow, replayable and repetitive sound like oxymorons, right? Unlike most other roguelites that are similar, I'd say wait for it. Again, they don't understand how to vocalize and stuff. They're doing their best. I get it. I really want to like this game, but it's so frustrating. Wow, it seems like a couple people are saying this already. The commander choice seems to be locking you into a build. Again, freedom. This is a deeper concept that most devs, I almost never met any, that know how to create replayability. So the players are starting to realize, whoa, it feels like you're just forcing me into playing this stuff. I'm not cooking, you're doing it. And this is one of the biggest breakthroughs I can give you if you're trying to cook on replayability. Assume that you don't know shit about replayability. I'm sorry. No, just assume. Just pretend. Pretend. Wow, what if this guy was right? What if what I know, and I think I know a lot, and what if I don't know shit? Just pretend for a second. Pretend. Even on the second difficulty, the color, that if you don't get one of the make or break cards, so they feel like there is a meta and I have to play this way. This goes so deep, right? This goes so deep, right? One, if there is other choices, why is the game not helping the player understand? And why is it that hard to see? And why does it seem balanced with, I need to just play this way? There's also a very deep conversation that I never talked about yet, and it's going to lead to a breakthrough. Where if the player can teach themselves something that works, and that something that works is actually really bad, but now they can't learn that there is better and what they're doing is bad because it works. It's successful. If it works, that means it's good. This is like a whole thing, and I don't even know where to start unpacking that yet. I'm not going to get into that right now. You have invested 30 minutes into a run, and you know that it's going to be anywhere, which is not very fun to me personally. I would at least like to have the illusion of choice. Damn! They sound like me. They said I would at least even like to have the illusion of choice. I say this all the time, dude. Holy crap. Dude, I'm telling y'all, if you guys stay behind as devs, the consumers are not going to take your shit soon. I'm telling you now, mark my words, for in 2 years, 3 years, right? Is games getting harder to make, or are you guys not leveling up? Are games getting harder to make, or are we just saying, yo, here's the bare minimum, and you're not even hitting that? Maybe it's time for a reality check. Maybe it's not the industry and the consumers, and it's unpredictable. Maybe you're just not doing the right thing. I'm getting more and more evidence every day of this concept. Holy shit, just give me the illusion of choice. The fact that they can even see that, right? Like Dead Cells. Dead Cells is a big parlor trick of illusion of choice. So the fact that they can even say that and be like, yo, I would be okay with the illusion of choice here, but I'm not even getting that. God damn. Holy crap. Okay, wait, let's keep going. Touch Bearer. Oh, man, this is a gold mine today. I'm enjoying this. Holy crap. You play Saladin and select the ghost skills he has. But in the first 6 offerings, you don't get a single card that enhances or bolsters ghosts, just tribal, buildings, and militia. Okay. To add insult to injury, there are more than a few events that are never worth it. Events on today's industry suck ass. They're like, oh, let's be like Slay the Spire. Let's be like FTL. So I found myself trying to avoid event spaces as much as possible. Contrast, look at something like Lone Star, where we can't wait to go to events, right? They're always fun. They always feel good, right? You get a copy of a card you don't need or something like that. At worst, the game steals a core piece of your build in the third world. You are absolutely effed having wasted over an hour. I don't know what that means, but it sounds horrible. There's also probably a lot of other things like, and I don't know. I would have to play myself to know why they're getting this feeling that they're looking for the things that they're like. Again, it gets deeper. Where are their feelings coming from, and why are they looking for something that enhances or bolsters Ghost as opposed to this stuff? And where's that coming from, and why? Right? Again, it gets deeper. Right? They're just a consumer. This is their experience. Sorry, devs, but locking rerolls behind a nauseating grind. Oh! Locking quality of life and features behind meta. Oh my god, I'm so happy the consumers are finally calling this shit out. Because if the game doctor does it and shows you how it's not right, because then you get in stupid conversations with consumers, and then you get 50-50, because anytime you bring up a conversation, you're going to get both sides. So then people are going to say, I like it, I'm okay with it, which is not part of the conversation at all, because no one gives a shit what you like. I don't care that you like turtles, that's not the conversation. So we have small conversations in our dev circle. Ooh, this is my favorite. Clip. People are going to stop playing long before they get to the point where they can actually make a fun build. The game desperately needs more bad luck protection. Ooh, cheating in the player's favor. And some rely, but maybe the game does, right? We don't know. This person could have a very jaded experience and also could be bad, but if they are very bad and are allowed to be that bad and the game is not helping them understand what they're not understanding, whose fault is that? And some reliable, if hard, ways to get the builds you need to make it through the game. I mean, the game has been out for 5 days. Also, if the default difficulty is that bad, you're also failing that nobody warned you. You do not want a super hard initial difficulty generally. The game has been out for 5 days, and then as of writing, Bramble was like this as well. And as of writing, not a single person has beat the hardest difficulty. Again, he's just building a case here. You know, there are some sweaty tryhards out there, so if even they can't beat the thing, who can? After barely 1.5 hours, the maps feel repetitive. Again, notice the keywords of repetitive in a game that's infinitely replayable. Dude, I wonder if they say that. Should we check real quick? They all use this word, right? No 2 runs will ever be the same, whatever. One of a kind. One of a kind. Experience unique, deep gameplay with strategy. You will become various historicals, body different races, combinations, exciting battles, diverse synergies. Everyone's saying the opposite, right? Navigate the quirky worlds, mobile shop. As you progress, you may encounter intriguing events like meeting environments, blah, blah, blah. Dangerous battles, tactical environment, including basic anvil, flanking, analyzing the patterns of encounters. I like turtles. Unlock new cards in the journey. Will your end prematurely? Either way, it's okay. Your challenges always bear fruit. When you finish a run, it's scored in various ways, and the accumulated experience points are tallied based on your score. Okay. Let's keep going. So this person, wow. Again, notice the common denominator, but also somewhat fun. See, I think the opposite. I think this game has a beautiful skeleton. I think they're in a genre that is very untapped and very great. I always give credit to like Clash Royale, not as a mobile game and a gacha, but the game is phenomenal. The game is phenomenal. So I know, including me, you want to love it, but again, your ideas, common denominator, if you didn't see our last video, your ideas are great. You don't know how to make your idea land. Your ideas are great. We want to love them. You do not know how to make it land. Do you guys see that there is a common denominator? I sound like a broken record. Your ideas are great, but you do not know how to land it. You do not know how to make your idea great, right? I don't know how to, I keep repeating it. I sound like a crazy guy. I'm going to make this so obvious that you cannot unsee it. Many builds and synergies are unexplored, like 1 or 2 build-defining cards. This is the second person to now say this, that it feels like I'm not cooking here. It feels like I just have to play a certain way, thus rendering all the other cards in the archetype useless. So what this is also created of, and I'm coaching on a couple different auto battlers coming out in a traditional sense, and I say this all the time, where it's like, yo, you have a predefined clan here, and you just I need to play your way. I don't feel like I'm coming up with anything good, and we left those days a long time ago. Lock in. You need a stronger conversation. I'm telling my clients it's not going to go well, and they don't believe me. You're gonna get people like this saying, hey, it doesn't feel like I'm cooking, it's just very linear, right? And one of the ways to do this is you don't have them buff themselves, right? They need to be able to cross, and they probably don't. All right, I could probably see deeper here what's going on. I haven't even dug into the game, right? And I could probably pinpoint exactly what's happening here. The final boss is a chore. Oh, that's my favorite. Devs love chores. They love it. And then you're probably telling yourself, no, I wouldn't. Who wants a chore? And then you make chores. You make chores. Go get milk from store. Okay, I'm gonna go get the milk from the store. You guys do that all the time. You guys love to do it. You think you're not, and you love to do it. Constant evolve phases. Stealing your units, stalling for ages, all while doing direct damage to you. So you can see here that they're like figuring out how to do this fight, and then what is doing it correctly is terrible, right? We do this a lot, right? Always ask yourself, Game Doctor Pillar, what is it like to play my game well, right? And start there. And if it's boring or tedious, it's probably pointing to something weak in your design, right? It's a filler. This is a 101 pillar. A pillar that we made a couple years ago, actually, right? It's a pillar. Get 10 bear pelts. Go get milk. My team is blue, so pick more blue. I'm going purple. Tactic in Dead Cells. Let me pick more purple stuff, I guess. Wow, look at my build. Again, I love those games for its time. I'm not belittling them, right? But we get smarter and design evolves. For the people that are not usually here. I wish I tried the game off of family share before buying it. God damn. Again, your devs are better than this, but you're not having the right conversations. Why do I know that? Because if you had the right conversations, you would have saw these things for yourself. Not even me telling you. You would have saw this for yourself. What would that be like? What would it be like if the Asgard guys never launched that way and they're like, wow, what is this? Is not okay. I can't even launch it this way. I don't even want to play it this way. What if they saw that for themselves? What would that open up? What would that open up? How much dev time would it save? How much dev time? How much better would the launch have went? I think there was also something really good in here, but I would have to find it. There was a lot of these consumers are cooking, dude. Anyway, so this is another game that even I want to love, but yes, fundamentally, it's just not sound, right? And now we have the emergency patching, right? Which you shouldn't have been in this place, right? You shouldn't have been here to begin with. First of all, we'd like to express our heartfelt gratitude for the incredible responses. Again, here comes the Patreon. This is not good, guys. This is bare minute. This is 101, right? This is like, thank you for shopping with us, right? Like, duh, they're going to say that, right? Duh! What else are they going to do? From the earliest planning stages, Commander Quest is designed with the goal of delivering a complete experience across 3 stages. We believe that transparency, sharing the intentions at launch, was the most sincere form of communication, which is why we addressed it in our initial announcement. Right after launch, we received a great volume of feedback that we had anticipated, or greater than we anticipated. We seriously consider how we could best repay this outpouring of interest. As a result, we decided to proceed with the content update. Guys, look over here. Look over here. Sleight of hand. Whoosh. We hear you. We're gonna give you new toys. We're excited to showcase gameplay from amazing influencers who joined us for the journey. Last time we featured videos from veteran and rookie developers. Here's band-aids, right? Of course. Fixing balancing, trying to make it easier. We are cooked, bro. We're cooked. We should not be getting to this point. If you don't see that there's a problem here, getting to this point with our launches, you're already cooked. With these patches, our goal is to solve the problem of limited strategies. And now you want to start to question, why did these guys boast about this deep strategic strategies and all of this stuff, right? They boast about it. They thought they had it, but they're realizing that they weren't close. Why do you think that is? And why do you think that, like, it's the feedback and their band-aids that are, they should be asking, how were we that far gone that we thought we were cooking here and we weren't even close? That's where I like to cook, right? That's why this is where I come up with the Game Doctor work. Wait, okay, so these guys thought they were cooking. How did that happen? Why did they think that? What were the positives? Because they thought they were cooking, right? And then, oh my God, well, the market, obviously, no, they're not cooking here, but why did they think that, right? You guys have to have the right conversations earlier. Just because you think you're having a good idea doesn't mean it is, right? Anyway, I'm also excited about this game, but it does suck, right? If you're waiting for the consumers to help you, you don't have a right structure system, right? Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Another beautiful example of that. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I have a beautiful, let's not tie it to the gaming industry, to show you guys another reality check. This is great. Check this out. This was one I found over the weekend. This is another great one. I'm going to show you guys how it's predictable. Any genre. It's so predictable. Check this out. This is great. You guys know one of my other loves is film. Check this one out. And this is such a beautiful, beautiful representation. I want you to, before I show you, I want you to imagine that the person tweeting this is a normal consumer. And I want you to envision these guys that are developing something, a creator, leaning on this person that doesn't know anything to tell them what to do. I want you guys to picture that concept. Ready? You guys ready? Picture, I'm a designer and developer. I should be leveling up, but instead, I'm going to have the consumer, please tell me what I should do here. All right? Think of that for a second. All right? Ready? This is a cute one. David Fincher says Mindhunters 3, Season 3, and this has been something that's been widely requested for years now. Everyone wants Mindhunter 3. Mindhunter is amazing, right? It's a show on Netflix. It is a very expensive show, and in the eyes of Netflix, we didn't attract enough of an audience to justify such of an investment. To this day, I still see people like on Facebook, on blah, 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 doing these huge petitions and stuff. Why would you cancel Mindhunter? Why would you? Everyone, right? Why would you? Why would you? Why would you? And then look at the tweet. 90% of this show was conversations in a jail. How expensive could this have been? Valid, right? Sounds like a valid consumer thing. I don't know how it's made, right? I do see that they're talking in a jail. Now, if you did study film, you might realize, and again, it's not their fault because they don't study film, that you might be like, well, dude, it's not that simple, right? There's production, there's lighting, there's setting up the props, there's I think this is a time period piece, there's costumes, there's sets, there's cars, but they don't think of that, right? They're just like, hey, I see two people talking in a jail cell. They're not looking at the shots and the weird cool stuff. They could be taught that, they could be taught to see it, but they don't naturally. Before I studied film and I just loved film, all of this stuff was mind-boggling to me, this amount of stuff that I didn't think about. It's the same thing in gaming. Right? You just play a game, but you don't know what goes on behind it to make the cake, right? So imagine for a second that we are that cooked where they're asking people like this to tell us what to do. I want to call that early access. These people that have no idea, we're going to ask them, hey, fix my game. And wonder why the market is unpredictable. Are you guys starting to see the ludicrousness and the idiocy of this concept? Are you guys starting to see, of course they think it's unpredictable. Look how cooked we are. Now, it's not this person's fault. Now, I believe there's a beautiful answer here too. Check this out. Wait, actually, I don't know if there's any, like, people on Twitter posting inappropriate stuff. Give me a second. First of all, this is amazing. Well, the casting director gets paid the biggest bucks. Yeah, the casting director, dude, if you guys haven't seen Mindhunter, look at this. Like, dude, when I was watching it, I'm like, oh my God, are these the actual people? And I'm like, wait a second, a lot of them are dead. Like, Charles Manson, like, bro, it's the casting director. Again, look how much skill set went into this. But if the consumer doesn't know to appreciate those things, they're not going to understand. They don't know, and it's not their job. You can teach them. You can teach them. And that goes into our other game doctor pillar of teaching the player what to appreciate about your game. You guys are not ready for that. All right. That's for my clients. All right. Hold on. This one's cute. Severance is a show about people walking in aisles of an office and they're burning Apple Cash as though there was no tomorrow. So here's a person saying, bro, you're talking about talking in a jail. Look at Severance. These people are walking around in a hallway and this show is so expensive. It's ridiculous, right? They don't know, but it just makes sense to them, right? Like if that's making, right? They're just using comparison. Other things on the market are like this. Hey, I like this. So I would, right? That's how consumers think, which is very normal, right? Wait, hold on. And then here, even this guy, look. The creative team behind it. It's a period piece. So wardrobes, cars, locations, set design, right? And then look at this. I just saw a video on how streaming is, nope, not that one. Wait. I'm going to show you how some other people learn about the things we're talking about. Here's somebody saying, yo, the director did a VFX breakdown for the show. So you can look now that this guy, I thought the same thing until now. That sounds like a game doctor pillar, right? That we're not ready for yet. This is one of my new ones, right? If we didn't show them where our hard work went and what to value, assume they have no idea, because they don't. And they said, hey, I had the same idea until I saw this. They showed me. They educated. No, oh my God. They didn't just go around shooting things. No, they had to put that stuff there. They had to work on this. Those buildings weren't even real. Oh my God, look at they had to buy these special cars that they would actually drive around 80 years ago. I forgot this is not actually shot back then. They forget. We're locked into a movie here, an experience, right? We forget. Oh my God, wait a second. This is not even shot like this. Wait, they're not actually, people aren't just driving around with these cars. This is a set piece. Oh, they didn't actually have those costumes. Somebody put that together meticulously, right? And so they can say that they got taught that. That's our consumers. They don't know. We could teach them, but they don't know. And you're asking them what to do? Think about it. Think about it. A lot of people, again, backing. Oh, I agree with you. Yeah, it makes no sense. They're just people talking, blah, 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 right? Again, so then we live in a world of small conversation. Do you back me? Do you agree? How do you feel? I like turtles. Well, I like it. I don't like it. None of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. People saying, look up the director's thing on what went on behind the scenes and you'll see why it was so expensive, right? You can be taught why it's expensive. It's not their job to know. It's not the consumer's job to understand. This is your games. This is your mechanics, right? This is how your product lands. The consumer is not going to appreciate your deep little design. And look how I tried to make the camera feel really good. They're just going to get the output. The output. They get the output. Not your process, not how much feelings you went through while making it, not that it was so hard for you because you had to learn, so I'm charging $25 for my product because I worked really hard and I learned a lot. If it doesn't land that way, they don't know. They don't give a shit, honestly, and they shouldn't have to. Stop with this shit. Oh, we're listening to the consumer. This is what I picture every time. I picture this every time. And I'm not like, oh my God, this person's an idiot. Who am I pointing at? Who's the dumb one? Chat. Who's the dumb one here? Who's the dumb one? Who's the misguided one? Is it this person? Is it that person? Is it their fault that they don't care about film in that way? And they just watch film for fun? Is it their fault? Is it the person's fault that just goes home and plays Call of Duty for fun and plays video games for fun? Is it their fault? No. It's the creators. for thinking that they should know better. It's us, the dumb ones, right? I am dumber for going to this person that probably doesn't know shit, and they're also showing us they don't know, and thinking they should be telling us what to do with my product. Who's the dumb one? Who's the dumb one? Do you want to talk to me about early access? Games in early access. We're listening to the community. What that actually tells me is that you don't know shit. I'm sorry. I'm being very blunt on purpose, right? I'm not usually like this. Don't get me wrong. But I want to be blunt to get the point across. What that's telling me is you don't know shit. If you're asking the consumer, the person that doesn't know anything, to learn from and know something, then it's blind leading the blind. That's what it tells me. That's how I know all about your skill set. Because you're not telling them what to like. You're asking the person that doesn't know anything. Help me out here. What? Tell me what to do. That's when I know you don't know shit. I don't need to talk to you. I can see it in your actions. Guys, this will be so irrefutable in a couple years, and more devs are going to start realizing this. It's not that the market's unpredictable. It's that you've been misled. I hope that somehow these get out there and find the right person, because it's not until a person with a podium that acknowledges the work and that it makes a difference that everyone's going to listen. Because if I'm just the guy saying, listen, I'm crazy, right? If I'm just the guy saying, I can make the hugest difference for you, and you're having the wrong conversations, I'm crazy. But if everyone starts backing it, then it goes from crazy to this guy knows what he's talking about. Let me give him the ear. Because we all agree that the doctor knows better than us. We go to our doctor and we give them a certain list. Right? And we go, oh my God, tell me. Right? But if we talk to somebody on a forum, we don't give them that listening, right? It's just a random on a forum. So we go back and forth. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, right? But we wouldn't say that to our doctor. We give them a certain listening. I need you guys to give me that listening. I need you to try it out, because we are cooked. And I know I can't say this for myself, because you will not listen, because you're not responsible for your listening. You don't even realize how you're not listening in actuality. You have a preconceived notion, right? Oh, this guy can't know. He doesn't know what he's talking about, right? I'm asking you to try it out. I'm giving you the evidence every day. I'm giving you the evidence every day. This is what I see when you say we're going to listen to the community. I want you guys to picture this. I want you to picture this. We're listening to the community. We're listening to the community. That's what I picture. So you're telling me you don't know shit. Got it. I'm not making that up, right? You guys see, right? Like, that's a consumer that doesn't know how the cake is made. They shouldn't have to, right? That's normal. That's reality. And you're telling me that you're waiting for them to help you? You don't know shit. You're lost. You're lost. You're already lost. And I mean this all with kindness, guys. All with kindness. So I want to wrap it up on a positive. I didn't know it was going to go this long, but this stuff is so important to me, and it gets me excited to learn every day. I'm here to fight for my clients and developers and people that want to listen. I'm here to fight for you. And I'm telling you, I'm pleading that you are misled. I'm pleading you that you can just have a couple-hour conversation and feel empowered. Be like, oh my God, I finally get it. I see everything for how it is. I promise you. I promise you. It's like plugging out of the matrix, right? I would never be able to do what a dev does. There's so much work, methodology, psychology. There's so much work that goes into making a good game, right? And to be in a world where you guys are just trying to wing it yourselves and this misled, I do not envy you guys, bro. It is hard. I would not be able to do it. And I would have my own blind spots, right? And this is why I'm smart enough to have a coach. Because I have my own blind spots. I'm not immune from that shit. I don't know better than you guys. I'm just here every day learning. I show up every day to class to keep learning, because I know that I will also be the fool if I don't keep doing that, right? I am pleading and fighting for you guys to respect your own craft enough to take yourself seriously and just plug into better conversation. And that's all it is. Just plug into better conversation. Please, it's for your own launch, for your own good. Try it out for your own good.